God, as I see folks coming in, and I know, Andy, that, the kind of guy you are, we want to maybe sort of start right away. Just want just thank you so much for inviting me to come into this space. It's actually my first one. Can you believe that? And just
Nice.
really, really thrilled to be taking part also in Citadel's first AMA. It's the first, but definitely not the last. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. It's a special time to do this AMA. I'm really looking forward to it. There's a lot of things we need to cover today, but I'm going to hand it over to you. But I wanted to actually introduce you first before you take over this AMA. I just wanted to let the community know that Peggy is a longtime community member. She's been following Hedera and supporting Hedera for a long time. And she actually has a lot of really good understanding of what Hedera is, what the technology is, what the use cases are, and what the governing council is. And she's just one of us. I could put it that way. But on top of all of that, she has a professional background in writing and marketing and content creation. And when I was starting Citadel Wallet, we needed a lot of support on that. And there were going to be a lot of reports, blog posts, things like that. I wanted to make sure there is somebody on board that has great understanding and experience in those things. By the way, this is Andy Kulikian. I'm also known as HBAR to the Moon on Twitter. It's really easy to write 240 character tweets, but it's much more complicated to write a professional report or a blog post. So I wanted to make sure that we have someone on board like Peggy. Plus, her understanding of Hedera makes things even better, because when she writes about Hedera with her professional skills, she will know what exactly she's talking about. There's no need for her to go back and do research and try to understand what this new Web3 space is. And I'm really glad she's part of the community. She's part of Citadel Wallet, and now she's also going to help us with Twitter Spaces, moderate the Twitter Spaces. So I'm just going to hand it over to you, Peggy. Take over.
Thanks so much, Andy. You completely preempted my nice words about you, but I really want to also let the community know about our relationship. When I first discovered Hedera and the tech, I just immediately fell in love with it, but I had lots of questions. I came across the H2C project that you had been working on, the NFT coin collection and the physical coin collection. And I remember looking at the work and just falling in love with the detail, the attention to detail, and just the beauty of the aesthetics. And I reached out to you. I remember I DM'd you, and I remember thinking with all kinds of questions, and I remember thinking, man, this guy is so patient, right? You were so patient with me, answering all my newbie questions and pointing me in the right directions, and just your character, your integrity, your honesty really came across. And I said to myself, even in those days, that if there was ever an opportunity, I would definitely want to work with you, partner with you. And so this is really a dream come true. So I just want to say hey to the community. I am really thrilled to be here in this AMA with an H Barbarian's H Barbarian and the first Citadelian and all of you as community. I just want to give you a quick overview of how we're going to do this. It's going to be an hour long, but it will be jammed full of details and hints and announcements and things to come. The first 30 minutes is going to be Q&A with me and Andy, and then after that, the last 30 minutes will be for community. Now, I want to invite you to come up on stage and to ask your question directly. But if you're maybe doing a little sidebar moonlighting at work and you can't talk, you can also text us your questions. So with that, I'm going to again introduce the man who needs no introduction, Andy. And just as a jump off, Andy, I see you in constant communication with the community in Discord, here on Twitter, and now in Spaces. Can you uh, explain to us a bit of why that's important to you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, first and foremost, I'm a community member, right? Just because I'm building the hardware wallet now, it doesn't mean all of a sudden I need to stop caring about the community and stop getting involved. One of my top priorities has always been uh, to be to be very active on Twitter and promote Hedera and its use cases and all the news that comes up to kind of give the community and maybe some other people that are just getting into Hedera an insight into what all this stuff means. And that it's that passion that has eventually led me after like a couple of years of being involved with the community. That it's that passion that has led me to actually looking into building something useful, some kind of product in this ecosystem because I believe in this network so much and the potential that it brings. So after starting to develop this product, Citadel Wallet, that drive, that motivation, that energy doesn't go away, right? I'm still interested in what people think, how people think about this network, what ideas they have, especially with the product. I do want to be engaged with the community and learn about their opinion about the product, what they think about it, what kind of improvements we can make, what kind of suggestions they have, and just being a good community member, just talking about different stuff. Now, Discord is something that we had to create for Citadel Wallet, and I wasn't very active on Discord before. My primary focus was Twitter, which stays the primary focus, and I hope my my activity on Twitter hasn't died down after I started developing the wallet because there's so much going on behind the scenes that people don't see on a daily basis. So much development work going on, but during the day, I always convince myself I have to post something. I have to go check out the Twitter, be active there, uh, just keep my finger on the pulse of the community. And there's no difference with Discord, especially Discord is now uh, our project. I care deeply about the project. I care deeply about the supporters of the project, especially this early on. A lot of people probably thought this is a crazy idea to develop a hardware wallet. So I really appreciate people who believe in what we're doing this early on, still in development stage. So I want to make sure that I take that time out of my day and check out Discord and engage with the community and also give them the confidence that we're actually making a lot of great progress and this is something that's going to market very soon. So that's how I would answer it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree with you 100%, and I'm sure that the community appreciates your constant communication, particularly as we look at the ecosystem and we see so many projects that fold overnight and do all kinds of things. But again, leading to this idea of constant contact and of transparency. Looking at the report that dropped yesterday on the Citadel Medium blog, and if folks haven't read it or seen it or checked it out, you've got to do that. Personally, in my sphere and my experience, I have seen very few reports as detailed and with a level of professionalism as this one. Um, and I've got to say, it's got to be one of the most comprehensive project update reports that I've seen in the ecosystem outside of Hedera itself and the GC Council. And one thing I picked up in reading it is, as you talked about, the Ocean Night update is the notion of fairness and transparency. So, can you talk a little bit about the idea of fairness and transparency and how that applies to Citadel Wallet?
Yeah, that's another great question, Peggy. I mean, it's the nature of Web3, right? The way we do things, the way that we handle things, it's all driven by the community, supported by the community. And without getting this pre-orders early on in the project's development stage, we wouldn't be able to be here. We wouldn't be able to make all the progress that we have made and bring that vision to reality eventually. So people who have supported, they deserve to know what's going on behind the scenes and in as much detail as possible. There's few things that are still confidential. We can share it publicly. For example, the secure element part number, microprocessor part number. So we don't give any ideas maybe to competitors because we're using some cutting edge technologies, but there is a lot of details outside of that can easily be shared with the community. Some people might not be as technical and might not be able to understand some of the details, but others might be. So we shouldn't think that this is too much for the community to handle. Just lay it out, all the details to the community, and let them decide, let them judge. If there's people who are more technical, they can dive deeper into the report and pick it apart and try to understand what progress has been made. Some people might be interested in certain aspects of the development more than others, but it's not up to me to decide what's important to the community. I need to give all the possible details to the community and let them decide. And I have noticed that a lot of projects stay quiet and they don't share a lot about their developments. And maybe thinking that this is just too much technical information for the community to handle. But it's not just about the technical, it's about bringing trust to the community by sharing that information in great detail with the community. You're also gaining the confidence and the trust, sorry, trust of the community. In terms of, like you mentioned, how detailed the overall report is, that also comes from my background. Being an electrical engineer at my full-time job, we write a lot of reports for customers, and our customers sometimes is the US government, Navy, and they are very picky and technical, and they're looking for the right details and the right information. And you can't slack, you can't just be very high level. You have to provide that detail in long form reports. So that's also part of my kind of experience. Whenever I write a report, I want to make sure that I provide as much information as possible about what accomplishments have been made, so a reader can easily understand what kind of progress has been made, in what aspects of the project, et cetera, et cetera. So that is the kind of a long answer to that question, but I do want to stress out that uh, one of the goals is to share maybe every few months, because for a wallet like this, you can really share milestones, achievements every couple of months or every 3 months. So every 2 to 3 months, the community can expect this kind of long form reports, and hopefully next 3 months will be way closer to finally getting the wallet to the market than during this report. But this is a very we have a lot of really important milestones in this, and I'm looking forward to diving into this as well during this AMA.
Hmm. Well, a hardware wallet is a very unique product, and certainly, others may be like me who didn't have much of an understanding until this project. And with these reports, and as we continue to learn and to grow, I realize that a wallet has a lot of component parts, and just thinking forward as we move into the mass manufacturing part of the roadmap. What measures is Citadel Wallet taking to mitigate any risks that could come from, say, chip shortages and maybe long lead times because of supply?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So a lot of people, technical or non-technical, probably heard about IC or chip shortages globally. This has been a big issue, especially right after the COVID hit. There were manufacturing had stopped or slowed down. A lot of companies were having hard time to get these chips on time, and so you could see delays up to like 1 year or maybe even longer than that. So the project would have to wait a year until they would be able to build the product and get it out. Having firsthand experience with this and having a lot of issues in my company when this hit, nobody was kind of prepared for this kind of an issue when the problems before were directly associated with just development of the product. Now you have to also worry about the chips and the components of the this electronic devices or boards, which could delay the project by more than a year. So having all that experience and understanding of that and knowing the overall space, well, I decided to start the pre-orders of the wallets a little earlier. I was kind of paranoid about the component shortages. So we would be able to get the components very quickly. Hardware wallet itself is not a too complicated device in terms of electronics. There aren't that many components in the bill of materials for this kind of a device, but there is like 3 to 5 chips or components on the board that are very critical. You cannot replace them once you pick them and finalize them. So if any one of those components are not in stock, you cannot get it from the manufacturer, and you have to wait 6 months, 8 months, 1 year. That's putting the project at risk. Even if everything is ready, the wallet is ready, development is ready, software is ready, you have to wait that long if you really leave it to the last minute to procure those components. So I was paranoid about that. I wanted to get the funding early to place the order for this component so we get that risk out of the way and really focus on development of the wallet. And that's exactly what we did. So today we have purchased not about 3,000 components of each of those risky components, and those are in stock at my home, waiting for when the wallet is ready. We can start manufacturing. We won't have any risks associated with the component. So that problem is taken care of for now, and we still need to be proactive. Once those 3,000 wallets are built and shipped out, even before all of those 3,000 are shipped out, we need to start thinking about placing the order for the next 3,000 or even 6,000 chips to be ready for the next phase of wallet rollout. So this is an ongoing process. I'm very aware of this issue in the global market. So we're paying a lot of attention to this, not to have this kind of issues in the future.
That's perfect. You call it paranoid and picky, but I think I would prefer to say careful, cautious, and meticulous, which is one of the reasons why I think we as community love getting behind you and this project, having that 360-degree view and making sure that you're anticipating any issues ahead. I know that that's appreciated. Uh, Let me just move over to the electronic side. I remember during our pre-orders, we saw a wallet demo, which means I think that the electronics were already mature. Can you give us an update on the project, on the progress that's been made, and is it ready for production?
For the electronic boards, you're right. At the time we launched the pre-orders, we had assembled the wallet, we had the electronic board working, tested, and at the time I would say it was 95% completed. There were a couple of minor things that we needed to fix, but this is just the regular electronic board development process. You have different spins of the board. You start from the initial revision. There might be a couple of minor issues here and there. You find them, you find those bugs, and you record those bugs, and in the next revision, you apply fixes to those. Luckily, we didn't have many issues, and like I said, it's a simpler board. We have made just one minor change on the LCD backlight for again, to not to get too technical, but to control the LCD backlight better. We have made some changes there, but in terms of the secure element, the microprocessor, power management, all of those circuitries had no problem during all this time testing, which also gives the confidence that we have tested it for months already, and we haven't faced any critical issues. We're not going to have any issues moving forward. One other minor changes we made. So for all devices that are that have wireless communication interfaces, like this one has Bluetooth, they need to have specific certifications like FCC for United States and EC for Europe. There's others as well to be able to sell the device in global markets. For that, you need to meet certain standards of wireless communication and transmission power, the frequency, to make sure that your device doesn't interfere with any other wireless devices around, or that those other frequencies don't interfere with your device. So there are certain requirements that device needs to meet, and we did some testing, tuned our Bluetooth communication interface to make sure when we start sending those devices to those third-party certification companies, there is no problems at that stage, which could also cost a lot to the project. If we have to ship it, they say there's something wrong, ship it back to us. And it could delay the project longer. It could cost more to the project. So we wanted to make sure we make those changes early on, test it on our end, make sure everything is fine. And that's the revision we have right now. We've been testing. And the board as is should be ready for production, should be ready to send out to to get those certifications. And we're just going to do some final tests to confirm that. And I'm really happy we have reached this stage of development where electronic board is taken care of, and we can start focusing on other aspects of the development.
Wonderful. I have another question, but I want to read directly from the report, if that's okay with everyone, with you. It's under electronic board developments, and it says, prioritizing security has been a cornerstone of our development philosophy. To that end, we've introduced an additional robust feature, a custom designed metal shield encasing both the secure element and the secure microprocessor. The shield is filled with epoxy, reinforcing the wallet's defense mechanisms. Andy, can you tell us a bit about this?
Sure. Yeah, that's another major thing we added to this latest revision of the board, to be able to actually protect the chips with epoxy and shielding. First of all, from anybody who's trying to hack, this is not the ultimate way to secure the wallet, but it's a general practice. And overall IoT ecosystem, if the device is highly secure, you want to add just an additional challenge to the hacker who's trying to get access to the chips. Um, Besides that, our chips are still cutting edge and high security chips, but we just want to make sure that we add this extra layer of protection to the board in case somebody's trying to hack into the board and get access to the chips. Just make it extra more complicated and challenging for those hackers. So yeah, the shield covers. I don't think any other hardware wallet is doing anything like this. This is going to add extra cost to the development and extra time as well during the production. But since it's a very important step for increasing the overall security of the device, I don't want to save in costs when we can bring even more security to the device and more confidence to the users. Yeah, there's going to be a shield over those important chips, and the shield will be completely filled with epoxy. This epoxy also doesn't protect just against physical attacks, but also protects against humidity, temperature, wide temperature changes, vibration. If you drop the wallet, since all the chips are encapsulated in this epoxy, it will also protect during those kinds of events. But yeah, just another step we're taking to differentiate our product from anything else in the market.
That's amazing. That's really amazing. Just want to switch over to mechanical enclosure developments, looking at the time. Um, again, reading from the report, you talk about this part of the development having reached a state of perfection. Want to give you an opportunity to kind of talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, electrical, mechanical, and software, I would say, are three of the most important parts in the development of the wallet. So electrical is already complete. We just need to do some final tests to confirm it, confirm everything is fine. For the mechanical, again, during pre-orders, we had the mechanical enclosure already. We had been working with the manufacturer to create the molds for injection molding of these parts. At that time, from outside, it looked exactly like the wallets we have right now. There were a few minor issues with the plastic parts, especially from inside. The latching mechanism wasn't operating as expected. And that, again, that's just a regular process. You need to go through iterations, make adjustments to the molds, and remake those parts until you get to the level where it's working perfectly. Another issue we were facing is that the holes for the buttons of the enclosure. Again, this is gonna get a little bit technical. I'll try to answer quickly. The buttons, the holes for the buttons were kind of smaller and tighter, so sometimes the buttons would get stuck and it would be really hard to press them. So that's another thing we had to go back and forth and get the perfect sizing of those holes. So there's no problems during assembly when the buttons get stuck, and obviously the wallet would be tedious to use at that time. People would be frustrated. So that's another thing we took care of. Also, and the last thing with the mechanical was the surface finish. We tried different types of surface finishes: glossy, like shiny finish, matte finish, different colors. The problem with the shiny finish was that whenever you use the wallet holder in your hand for a longer period of time, you leave your fingerprints on that shiny surface and it looks kind of dirty and not really that nice. Matte, you don't have that problem with the matte finish, and that's why. And matte finish looks really nice in contrast with the shiny stainless steel band that's in the middle of the wallet, and that's why we decided to go with the kind of a matte finish, and we have three different colors we've been working with that will be available to the public. But mechanical design right now is also complete. That's another major milestone we have achieved, and major burden that's out of the way right now, and we can focus on software development at the moment.
Nice, nice. And you know, as you're describing the wallet, and as someone who continues to gaze lovingly at the physical H2C coins, I just can't wait to get one in my hands. I know they're going to be beautiful. I mean, they already look beautiful, but I know they're
They
gonna
are.
they're gonna look beautifuler in my hand, right?
Exactly. The pictures don't do justice to how good these wallets look. People are going to be way more impressed when they get these wallets in their hands. And one other thing, I'm not sure if you have a question about this, but one other thing I wanted to mention is that we're putting together 10 to 20 prototypes right now, which
Yeah.
are going to be the have the beta version of the software installed in them, and we would love to send this out to the community so the community can start testing the early versions of the wallet. And also, it's one thing to talk about the wallet development is moving forward. It's another thing for people to get the wallet in their hands and actually playing with it, using it. It becomes more tangible and becomes more real. And community, they can also share with other community members through social media that this project is actually becoming a reality. So yeah, I can't wait for those prototypes to be assembled, programmed, and I'm hoping by the end of this month, or I would say probably early next month, we'll start to reach out to our Citadel Knight holders. We'll have some criteria who'll get to get the wallets first. But we'll have more announcements on that. But I can't wait to get these wallets in the hands of people so we can also start getting feedback from them about the user experience, how it feels to hold it and press the buttons and interact with application, create account, sign transactions, etc., etc. So looking forward to that as well.
Absolutely. I know that there is excitement and talk around the Discord about that beta testing. So you've answered that question. Thanks. And I know that we're going to be really excited to see what those criteria is, what the criteria is, and how folks can participate in that testing. Right now, we are just a little past the halfway mark, so really want to take an opportunity to open it up to the community. I have 10 more questions, but want to hear from you. If anyone has a question, we want to bring you up on stage to ask H bar to the moon, our very own first Citadelian. Anyone's got a question? So I know, Andy, while folks are formulating their questions, what about a wallet warranty?
Yeah, so in terms of warranty, this question also came up in Discord. That's a great question. For any product like this, you usually have like 1 to 2 years of warranty. Our goal is to get to the 2-year warranty, and we're still looking through the logistics of that, how that's actually being handled. I've been using. I have no concerns, especially for a product like this that electronically is much simpler. I have no concerns that we should be able to get the 2-year warranty. So during those 2 years, if anything happens to the wallet, you should be able to, first of all, you won't be returning the wallet. This is a security device. You will be destroying the wallet basically if you have issues. You should never send this wallet to anyone for repair. Don't trust anyone with the wallet. If it doesn't work, just destroy it and request another one. We'll just probably ask for a proof that it's actually not working, it's defective, or some issue happened with the wallet to be able to provide that new wallet to you. But you shouldn't be sending the wallet to anyone. And in terms of the warranty, yeah, 1 to 2 year should be expected. I think there's one person who has requested to speak. Let me approve.
Great, come on up.
Yeah. Yeah, Oliver is a speaker now. Go ahead, you can ask the question, Oliver. Welcome.
Hi, just a thought, guys. It's a reasonably small wallet. It fits into the center of your hand by the pictures I've seen of it. And would it be possible going forward maybe to have a kind of like find my iPhone thing on it, that if you lose your wallet, you can kind of search it out? Just an idea.
Yeah, so the question is basically, if you lose the wallet, is there a way to kind of find it? Am I understanding it right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, there were similar questions from the community in Discord as well. Basically, if you want to find there are Bluetooth devices out there that have the capability to serve as basically a beacon. Basically, it's constantly on and it's transmitting constantly messages out there for your primary device to pick up whenever you lost it, and know kind of approximately where it would be located. The problem with a hardware wallet, if we enable something like this, then it means first of all, your device is constantly on, turned on, and it's constantly communicating through Bluetooth interface, which you can imagine adds a security risk. Whenever you turn off the device, you want it to be completely off and no communication with the device. Even Bluetooth, the chips, everything should be turned off completely. The solution to this would be to buy one of those. They're like really thin and small size Bluetooth beacons, and just stick it in the back of the wallet to use for that purpose. So in that case, it's not the wallet itself that's communicating with your phone. but it's that beacon that's completely hardware isolated from your device. And that's kind of how I would recommend to handle this if that's something you're looking for. We might even think of offering an accessory product, something like that, where people who are interested can use it with their wallet to be able to easily find it. But I have a feeling that people who have hardware wallets are going to be paranoid about their devices, and less chances of losing it. But it happens. Like you said, it might happen. So you want to make sure you have all the precautions taken. So that's how I would recommend to handle that part. Thanks for the question.
Thank you very much. Great answer. Appreciate it.
Anyone else with a question? We are here with Andy, the founder of Citadel Wallet. This is time to ask anything.
Yeah, I think we have Zero up here.
Awesome.
Hi, Zero. If you have any questions, just
Yeah,
go ahead.
thank you. Just real quick, and I appreciate everything you guys are doing, and thank you for the space. Convenience fees. You know, are there going to be convenience fees, hidden fees in the background of Citadel? Like we know, Hashpack, you know, they charge little convenience fees to do the secure trade or the scheduled transaction. You know, Blade Wallet recently got rid of those kind of convenience fees, and you're only charged any fees from the third party. So I apologize if it's been brought up in the Discord, or if the topic's been brought up previously. Thank you.
No, yeah, that's actually a good question. So for people to understand how the hardware wallet works, this is basically just a device that signs transactions for you. It doesn't have any special logic in there that adds fees to your transaction, anything like that. Whenever you pair with, so you will be using the hardware wallet paired with some of the most popular software wallets in the Hedera ecosystem, Hashpack, Blade, Kabila, and others that are out there. We'll be partnering with all of them. Right now, we're working with Hashpack directly to test things and get things going and integrate with them first to make sure all the bugs are taken care of. So the way the wallet will work is you pair with Hashpack, for example, and Hashpack sends those transactions down to the wallet to sign it. So besides that, the hardware wallet itself is not doing anything else. It gets the message, the transaction, deciphers it, shows it to the user, and provides all the information about the transaction, and asks if you want to approve this transaction or not. If something doesn't match between the what's shown to the user on the display of the wallet and what's shown on the Hashpack application, then that's a red flag already. You shouldn't approve that transaction. So there can't be any hidden fees or convenient fees. For using the secure trade, for example, if you're pairing with Hashpack, those convenient fees or the fees associated with the secure trade will be there coming from Hashpack itself. But that transaction sent to the hardware, down to the hardware wallet to sign, we don't really know what fees, hidden fees are there. We're just showing the transaction to the user. If they're okay with signing it, they're approving it and sending back to the Hashpack. So any fees that come with the transaction will be associated with the software wallets themselves and not with the hardware wallet to make it sure, yeah, there is no any hidden or convenient fees associated with the hardware wallet.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll drop down. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, there's no more requests at the moment, Peggy. So if you have any other questions, you can go ahead and ask those as well.
Sure. Thanks, Andy. There were some questions that came out of the Discord, so I'm gonna just go to them now. There was a bit of a discussion a couple of days ago about bridge software, you know, and comparing Citadel to other wallets that are out there. Can you talk about you know, how Citadel is going to differentiate itself to, say, for example, Decent or even let's say Ledger in that regard?
You mentioned bridge software?
Yeah, like, so for example, when you have the decent wallet, you have to actually um, download software to the computer, and that creates the bridge to
I see. I
right.
see. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. At the moment, yeah, I understand the question now. At the moment, like I said, hardware wallet. When you get the hardware wallet, you will be able to set up the wallet without even connecting to any devices, mobile or desktop device or applications. You will be able to create the keys inside the wallet offline, completely offline. And then after that, you will need to pair it with Hashback or any. So the application, that bridge application that you're talking about, is going to be our ecosystem software wallet partners. We didn't want to develop our own software wallet. We really wanted to. We didn't want to become a competition to existing very successful and beloved software wallet applications in the ecosystem already. We just wanted to become that extra layer of security and protection to users' accounts. The only thing that users will need during the initialization, when you create the keys in the wallet and pair it with something like Hashback, um, the difference between Hedera and other networks is that you also need to create account ID associated with your public key. And that's one step that Hashback will be handling. So when you connect, it will get your public key request from Hedera network to create an account ID associated with that public key. And after that, every time you connect, pair with Hashback, it will be ready to sign any transactions. Whatever you do with Hashback, you will continue doing it, and it should be a simple process after that. A major differentiator of Citadel Wallet compared to other hardware wallets in the ecosystem is that we are focused on utility and not just holding the crypto assets, because I guess that was the very first phase of crypto industry, and the only use case back in the days when people were just buying speculative assets and holding them for not even knowing what those assets are for, and just hoping the price of the assets will go up. Hedera network is a little different than those networks because it's a utility network, and there's a lot of applications and use cases that people are using on a daily basis. And because it's performant and efficient and fast and cost effective, people engage with the network on a daily basis and use these applications, DeFi swaps, NFT marketplaces, trade NFTs between each other, and not even worrying about the fees associated with that. So our focus is to support all Hedera network services, so you can do anything you want on the network. So it becomes a utility device that you need to use every single day outside of just holding the assets. When other wallets' focus is support as many coins as possible, but with minimal features and support for layer ones, just buy the coins and hold them, and you won't be able to do anything else with them, which to me is just a kind of a boring way to use a hardware wallet, and also it's not moving the crypto industry forward in any ways. Being able to securely interact with the network and do anything you want, interact with the applications in a secure way, is what's pushing this ecosystem forward, and that's our primary goal and probably primary differentiator from anything else.
Absolutely, absolutely, Andy. And definitely in discussion in Discord, the idea of having to install a foreign piece of software onto your computer was an issue, and I agree 100% with that. And so, using the current Hedera ecosystem partners is reassuring, to say the least. So in terms of, just going to pivot a little, just in terms of the manufacture of the wallet itself, the component parts, the handling, in terms of security, how is that going to be handled? You want to share a little bit about that, please?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, another important topic to talk about. In terms of, I'll start with manufacturing. It's short and easy to answer. So manufacturing wise, We already have finalized our manufacturing partners for wallet packaging, for mechanical enclosures. I didn't talk about the packaging, but we have also developed and completed the wallet packaging. And when users get the beta versions, it will actually come with the final looking packages. Packaging, the electronics, mechanical, all these manufacturers have been finalized, and we've been working with them for months already, and they're ready to go to mass scale production whenever we give them the green light. So in terms of manufacturing, we are good to go, ready to rock and roll, basically. And in terms of programming, there have been a few concerns from the community, and that I echo those concerns. That's why I was continuing looking into best ways to also program devices during this manufacturing process. What's the best way to handle it? Because if you trust everything with the foreign companies, like manufacturers are in China, and you send them your software code, you can't really trust them. They might be good players or bad players. You don't know. You don't want to risk. And also, just sending your IP to a foreign third-party manufacturer company, you don't know what they will do with that IP, right? So there's a lot of security risks and issues associated with that, and it's really important to address those and make sure that we handle that process very carefully. So what we have done is I was looking for the right partners to work with in US who can program these chips at mass scale, at much faster and cost-effective way, even before they have been assembled or soldered onto this electronic boards. And we have found a great company called EPS Global. We partnered with them. They're a global securely mass programming company. They have ISO 27001 certified facilities in United States. If anyone wants to look into that certification, but basically they have special rooms that are camera controlled, badge controlled, biometric controlled. Everybody who goes into and out of those rooms, everything is logged and traced. All the components are traced throughout their once they enter the company, they're traced until all the way they are shipped out to us or the manufacturer to solder on the board. So this is the best way to handle it, not just from the security perspective, but also make it cost effective and really fast, instead of us at Citadel Wallet sitting down and programming every single chip one by one. It would take forever. It would be a very frustrating process, and also it wouldn't be we wouldn't be ready for scaling. This kind of puts a great foundation for when the Hedera ecosystem grows and blows up, and there's a lot of hundreds of thousands of users. Anytime we need to scale, there we have the foundation set to scale really quickly, rather than at that time trying to figure out how we're going to make more wallets that are demanded from the market. So security, efficiency, cost effectiveness, and speed, that's all those are brought to thankfully brought to us by EPS Global, and right now they're partners of with us, and looking forward to when we're ready to go to market. They're already building the sockets for the chips, specialized sockets for these chips to be able to program them at the mass scale. Yeah.
That's awesome. And even as we talk about security, how about the audits and those tests? Any word on that?
Audits will come later once the software development is completed. We can probably spend also a little bit of time talking about the software development, but secure audits are mandatory for this kind of a product. Whether we do a great job at developing the product and we have no issues, nobody can hack into the wallet, that's not up to us to decide or say. You always need a third-party company to do penetration tests, secure auditing of your code, to make sure that they also verify and create some publicly available reports from the third party to let community know that this is actually secure, and it's not just the builder of the product saying that it's secure. Then it wouldn't be honest and open, trustworthy to the community if the builder is saying however trustworthy that person is, right? So we've been looking into different kinds of secure auditings. There's a few different kinds. There's ones that they're actually going through your code and make sure there's no bugs and issues in your code itself that's being programmed into the wallet. The other type is penetration tests. It's basically a black box test where they take the wallet and start trying to hack into it through the communication interface like USB and Bluetooth, which is the primary ways hackers will be trying to get into the wallet. And they use the latest found ways of hacking into not just hardware wallets, but all types of secure IoT devices. And they will run those tests continually, try to find a way to get into the wallet. And if you pass all of those, you're good to go for the penetration tests. If not, they will let you know what has failed and give you recommendations how you can fix it, and we'll also look into how to fix those from our side. But yeah, those are the two types of tests, secure auditing that we'll be running. And I have reached out to a few different companies. Tudor from Headstarter has connections with secure auditing firms that have run their smart contract auditing before. He has connections with those companies as well. We're reaching out, getting some codes and timelines and things like that. But we'll be able to start the secure auditing only after the software development is completed.
That's really great, Andy. Certainly investors, users, community members can be assured that the wallet will undergo rigorous testing, physical testing, as well as auditing before being shipped and landing into our accounts. We mentioned software development. Any updates there? I know it's ongoing.
Yeah, software development is probably the most important thing for a hardware wallet device like this. And we've been putting a lot of effort and energy into developing the software. We have the Headstarters software development team working on it constantly. Before launch, the pre-order launch, and after the pre-order launch, and we have made great progress already. So to highlight some of the major milestones we have achieved so far, there's the secure element in the wallet, and there's a lot of communications going back and forth between the microprocessor and the secure element. Sorry about that. So there's two parts in this development. First, you need to make sure that the communication with the secure element is extremely secure. You establish secure channel with the secure element. It's pin protected, so anybody who gets access to the wallet without the pin, they cannot do anything. And this pin itself is not stored anywhere on the microprocessor. I know before some hardware wallets have maybe it was immature team or something like that. They had stored the pin inside the wallet, inside the processor, which allowed the hacker to get into the processor, get the pin, and regain access to the wallet. And those kinds of hackings have been done before. Knowing about those, we are not storing any of the user inputted pins in the microprocessor. And when the hacker gets access to it, there's no way they can get into the secure element, because secure element is tamper proof, and EAL6 plus, one of the highest security standards in the industry, certified, has that level of protection out of the box. You don't need to do anything else. But that communication with the secure element we need to make sure that we do it the right way. We had to create some libraries to be able to communicate, make it pin protected, end-to-end encrypted, so even protect against man-in-the-middle attacks. If somebody can tap into the signals going between them and it's not encrypted, they will be able to figure out what the messages are going back and forth between the secure element and microprocessor. So we're able to protect even those kinds of attacks. So that's one part of the development that has been completed. It just needs to be integrated with the overall code that we're writing. On the processor side, microprocessor is primarily for communicating with the external world through USB or Bluetooth, like with Hatchback or desktop wallets, receive those messages and show it to the user through the display. So the microprocessor is also controlling the display. We have those working as well, and then eventually sending to the secure element to sign it, return it back to Hashback wallet, for example. So all of those have been mostly completed. We've been developing a new UI during the pre-orders. Our UI was very simple, just displaying text and saying, do you approve or not, which is not the right way to do it, but to bring something to the community and show that we have actually made progress in the development. Even before going to pre-orders, we wanted to make sure we have that and we can show that to the community. Yeah, so those have been completed. We're developing a new UI, and this time when people get the wallets to test out, they will actually be seeing the information about the transactions that they are going to sign, instead of just asking approve or reject the transaction. They will be seeing the type of the transaction, from which account to which account it's being sent, the memo, the amount of HBAR, for example, if it's just a simple HBAR transfer, the fees associated with the transfer, et cetera, et cetera. So this time around, it's the firmware is much more mature. You will be able to see all of that information, press approve or reject, and you will be able to pair with Hashback to submit those transactions to the network. So it's going to be very close to the final UI. There will be tweaks. Also, we're hoping to get some feedback from the community. Hey, can you make this bigger, smaller, maybe rearrange things? We would like to get that feedback from the community early on as well, so we can make those changes at this early stage. After secure audits, we won't be able to make much changes, because any change would require going back and doing some audits again. So we need to be very careful and thoughtful before we get to the secure auditing stage, and getting the community feedback this early on would be very important for the success of the project. So in terms of how much work is left for the software, basically the main thing left right now is the software development. There are some minor other things that we need to take care of, which we should be able to take care of next couple of months. The only thing left to really complete is the software development, and I'm hoping next few months we'll be able to get to that stage where we're ready to start talking to secure auditing firms and get through that process. Our goal has always been to get the wallet ready by the end of this year. We'll re-estimate the timelines. Maybe there's a few months delays due to the delays associated with software developments. We really want to get this right the very first time, but we'll, again, be open and transparent with the community, provide them all the information. And we do have a lot of announcements coming in the next, this month and next month, some other exciting announcements, and we'll share that information with the community as well.
Thank you. Citadel Hardware Wallet is such a unique product, and it will be landmark for the Hedera network. So agreed, we've got to get it right. And so just really appreciating the community support and the engagement, even as you talk about that beta testing. But and we're now at the top of the hour and want to be respectful of people's time, but I would not be able to go back into the Discord if I didn't ask you about any additional product lines and products that are in development or you're thinking about developing?
Yeah, I think we had some teasers about the new products we've been developing. When I started developing the hardware wallet and really digging and doing research into this kind of secure devices, um, other things started to come up. I don't want to say we're going to have those announcements very soon and share with the community what we've been up to outside of just developing the hardware wallet. And community is going to be very pleasantly surprised what we've been up to also outside of that. And the goal for Citadel Wallet has always been to cover broader range of applications than just for users to interact with the network on a daily basis. Now, people can start speculating what we're talking about, but there's two new products and services that we're going to launch very soon, and we'll have information about that, announcements about that, and we'll also do AMAs because people might have a lot of questions about this new products. They're very exciting. I was very excited to also start working on those as the development of the hardware wallet moved from more hardware focus. We completed most of the hardware stuff and started mostly focusing on the software, which Headstarter team is handling perfectly, and I trust them with that work. I had some little bit of a free time, time that freed up for me to focus on these products that I had been envisioning for a while already. And those are also coming along pretty nicely. And all I can say is look forward to those announcements coming very soon. And eventually, we'll also have an announcement for the V2 of the GOTC white paper. Guardians of the Citadel is a very important part of this whole project, and we're going to have additional utilities associated with the Knights and exciting new benefits associated with the Knights. And all people should be benefiting from this new products that are going to come out to the market. And Knight holders are just a very special part of the project, and I'm very thankful to have them along this journey. So it's going to be a very packed August and September in terms of exciting announcements and developments. So look forward to that.
I'm going to stop it right there. I don't even feel bad, really, Andy, because there's so much information that is in the Discord. There's so much on the website at citadelwallet.io. Want to invite everyone to follow the Citadel Wallet account on Twitter. That's at Citadel Wallet. And then also remember the Medium blog, which is where the report is housed. If you go there to the Citadel Wallet account on Medium, you'll see that report. And it is so detailed. Citadel Wallet Development Update, it's titled. And at the bottom, you will see what was achieved and what is coming up next. And it is amazingly detailed. And so just going to invite everyone to really have a close look at that. Anyone else have any final questions or final thoughts at this time?
Hi guys, just like to say I think we're so early in a very exciting place, and thanks very much, Andy, for creating an amazing little piece of kit.
Thanks a lot, Oliver. Thanks for the kind words, for the great question. It really is going to be a special product and kind of put Hedera, differentiate Hedera from anything else in this ecosystem, in the Web3 ecosystem, which can get very noisy at times. But Hedera community has been always focused on utility, the real value, all of those things. And that's why I think we have a great chance to be a really successful project in Hedera ecosystem and also help Hedera to reach more user bases because we have this very special, unique device that allows you to do anything with the network with a much higher extreme security than anything else in the market. So I echo your sentiments. I'm really happy. I finally decided to build the wallet last year, and it's so close to getting to market. We'll get there in the next 6 months easily. And then one other thing I wanted to say there, if there is no more questions, thanks Peggy for moderating these spaces. You did a great job. I knew you're gonna handle this the right way. You're a professional and a great H barbarian. I'm really happy to have you on board our Citadel Wallet team. And I'll just say to the community, we'll have more AMAs like this in the future. Peggy will be taking care of this, handling this, and we're looking forward to more interactions like this live, getting any questions you have real time and answering them, and engage this way with the community as well. Thank you, Peggy.
My pleasure, and bye everyone. Until next time.
Bye, everyone.